bringing up that title screen, the Orion. All that jazz. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very 7th episode of Off the Record, a show where we discuss the weekly news around Chico, California, and Chico State. I need to put them on the same line because I put a little comma there. The date is October 10th, 2013. I'm Jeff Barron, the video editor at the Orion, and joining me tonight is, of course, the lovely Benjamin Mullin, editor-in-chief at the Orion. Lovely indeed. Look at him. He's got that bookcase above his head, so you know he's well-read and literate. I'd certainly hope so, because he's editor-in-chief, so nothing gets past this guy. He's the ultimate filter. Ben, how are you doing tonight?
I'm very good.
Nice.
You pointed out I was well-read, and that's true on two levels, because not only is my shirt red, but my pants are
Oh
also...
my goodness.
So tonight I am very well-read.
Oh, this guy's coming up with jokes. It's funny because your shirt and pants match the background of the show. Man, that makes me happy. And the fact that it has branding on it, so Coca-Cola is sponsoring the show now. Allison Weeks, the opinion editor at the Orion. How are you doing, Allison?
I'm good. I'm glad I'm finally back on Off the Record.
Yeah, you had some phone troubles the first week, a couple weeks back. Is that so?
Yeah, my phone was stolen 2 weeks ago.
That is a whole story in and of itself. Do you want to talk about that tonight, or?
You can read about it in the paper.
All right. Well, there will
Sweet.
be a link to it at the description of this show. Definitely interesting. Chantal Richards, we are joined by the sex columnist at the Orion. Shanti, how are you doing this evening?
I am great. Excited to be back after a week break.
You look very blue in this picture, but that's okay because we got the red to balance it out. I was trying to think of how to go with that. I was like, red, blue, that is totally amazing. We're going to open up the top of the show with the death row inmate may get retrial. Benjamin Mullin, this is your piece, and it's fairly significant because it has a huge history. Ben, go take it away, Ben. Take it away.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here. So this guy, Stephen Crittenden, was arrested in 1987 for the murder on suspicion of murdering two people, and they were a prominent Chico couple. It was said that the doctor, William Chiapella, delivered half of Chico. So he was a really big deal in the community. He delivered a lot of children, was donated to a lot of causes. So the prosecution's case was that this guy, not only did he murder these people, they said, but he tortured them, bound them, gagged them, and made the wife write a check for $3,000 before he murdered her. And because it was such a polarizing issue, he was black and the people he murdered were white. And because everyone knew the Chiapellas and because no one knew him, the case was moved to Auburn in Placer County so the guy could have a fair trial. And he was convicted and was sentenced with death. But ever since then, he's been appealing. His appeal was he appealed on 3 grounds. 2 of them were denied, but the one that was sent back for review was that the lone African American juror was dismissed from the jury. And the appeal said that he wasn't given a representative jury of his peers. It wasn't a good cross section because there were no African Americans on the jury. Well, this was appealed and appealed and appealed, and the California Supreme Court denied his appeal. And then his lawyers took it to federal court, and this is all decades in the making. Two federal magistrates denied the appeal on the race-related juror, but a U.S. Circuit District Court judge approved the appeal and said, "Hey, you've got 60 days to retry this guy or set him free." And so, rather than going to a retrial, the Attorney General, who's on the prosecution side, appeal the appeal. So that they may not have to do a retrial in the first place. So it's long in the making, and it's kind of a big issue for the community. But it's so long ago that that very few people remember it.
Yeah, in fact, this is like 24 years, which I'm 23, and that's over my entire lifetime. So if you just like put all of your life experiences into that one time, like you lived your entire life and this guy was just chilling in jail, like I don't know, like that's just insane. Like that's just like 24 Christmases, 24 birthdays, drinking, having your first legal drink for the first time, like I don't know, getting married. Who knows? People have kids at this age. Like that's insane. Like that's I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a lot of issues of the Orion. That's how I measure my time nowadays.
I just measured how many Christmases. So I used to do that as a kid. Actually, I'd measure time in TV shows. I'd say how many TV shows is that? And they're like 10 TV shows. I'm like, that's like so long. Like I can't. My kid brain can't wrap how much time that is. So if you told that kid like, however many TV shows 24 years is, it would just blow his mind. He'd be like, oh, I what? Sorry, I keep drinking out of my cup because I'm so proud of my little Orion cup. But yeah, that's like, man, like, is there any like if someone's on death row and they manage to like somehow like the court case gets dropped or something, like is there any like do they get any money out of it? Like the suspect is there a benefit?
No, I don't think so. I've heard of some cases where when the prosecution was convinced that they did something wrong the first time, like there was this protracted case in Texas where this guy was on death row for a long, long time for murders he didn't commit. And I think in that case, the state did pay some kind of reparations for this guy's trouble. But, of course, you're never going to get those years of your life back. But if it's a case like this where it's where there's a lot, it seems to me the attorney general said there was a lot of evidence, like they matched his boot print to a bloody boot print in the, in the house, and the check was made out to him from the wife. So they thought the evidence was overwhelming. And so my guess is if he overturned his conviction on a retrial, my guess is the prosecution wouldn't give him anything because I think they legitimately believe that they got it right the first time.
Man, they had a check written out to him. That's I mean, that's pretty. That might be one of the that's pretty damning, and it's also one of the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, just make it out to my name, and then like they're gonna see the transfer in the bank, like in like the ledger. So just like, okay, well, you have to have like a social security number to like have a bank account in the first place. So it's like, where's that gonna go? I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, and apparently he knew them because he'd done some yard work for them, and he borrowed a knife from his roommate, saying that he was gonna go fix a radio, and the next day they were found with multiple stab wounds.
He didn't fix the radio at all.
Yeah, not fix a radio. I don't even think there was a radio.
How could you fix a radio with a knife?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point. Although I'm not personally a professional radio fixer, maybe a knife is actually essential to fixing a radio. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I have no idea.
What was even crazier was he said that the $3,000, the check that was written to him, was used to pay for compensation for sex acts that he performed for the wife. So, like, it's a really really twisted case.
Whoa, this got darker. I didn't know it was nearly that dark. Jeez.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
It's heavy stuff.
Never mind, take back my jokes, man. That's like, no wonder why everybody's like, no, we got it right. Like, it's like we have all the evidence we need. This guy should stay and rot in jail. But then, man, I don't know. Like, Ben, do you have an opinion? Do you think that this is like, how do you feel if he got released?
I think there was. I mean, obviously, the jury thought there was sufficient evidence to convict this guy. I personally think that. I think the district judge had a legal basis to grant this guy a retrial, based on what Crittenden's lawyer told me. I think that there's definitely room for interpretation there, but yeah, I think the evidence. Obviously, the jury thought the evidence was overwhelming, but yeah, it remains to be seen what's going to happen with this.
That is a very
non-committal
answer. Yes, it's true. But Ben is a journalist, and that's what he likes to stay neutral. You got to see the whole picture. You can't lean and turn to one side. Chantal, Allison, do you have anything to add to this?
I'm just in shock that this was a Chico State student who was 19 years old who could do something like this.
Yeah, that's like super brutal, and I don't know. It's
Like,
plus,
it's surreal. I mean, you hear about people doing crazy things on school campuses, but you never really think it's Chico.
and I don't even know if we have have we had anything like nearly that significant in terms of like a murder case on that level?
I can't remember one.
In recent memory. Like I can't. I mean,
I
I've only
don't
been here,
think
but
so.
We've
I
had
mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
we've
I
had.
just
Go for it.
I just realized the year he was convicted, 1987, is the year that we were named the #1 party school by Playboy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
there's a connection, guys. Playboy and Chico and murders. It's coming
That sounds
together.
cool.
It's definitely a hell of a storm. You definitely don't want all those things coming together, because this is apparently what happens. All right. Well, moving right along. This is actually different because it's actually not an opinion piece. It's a features piece about online dating in your pocket. So I have actually personally done that or downloaded this, and it's called Tinder, right? Yeah, Tinder. And so there's this app you can download on your phone at least on the App Store, and you have to sign in on your Facebook account. You can't not sign up in any other way. You have to use your Facebook account, so it's tied to your real name. It like as soon as you sign in, it takes all your pictures and like it shows all your interests on like your profile page. It's probably the least intrusive thing I've had to use for Facebook login, but like I don't like the idea of the fact that my Facebook would be tied to this because I usually just don't want to have that ever happen. It's a personal thing, and so what you do is that you're given like these little photographs of like different people who are like local singles in your area or whatever, and you kind of like flip them from left to right. So if you flick it to the left, you like them, and so you like what you see, and then if you flick it to the right, you deny that person. And so you basically go through all these different pictures, like flicking them left and right, or clicking them and zooming in, and like going through all their different pictures that they have on there. And you can have it actually based on location, like you could see who's like kind of near you in your area within like a certain like amount of miles or whatever, because it could track your movement. It's like I mean, in terms of like fit and finish and polish on the app, it's actually really well put together. I was really impressed. But I hated the fact that I can't just like not like somebody or just have like a neutral like skip. It has to be like or deny, and it's like it's so bipolar. I'm like, well, what if I think that person's probably okay? Maybe I shouldn't do it, and like I can't see anything else because you have to play the game to see if anybody else also likes you. So they get you sucked into it. You're just like flicking left and right. I'm like, no, this is stupid. This is dumb. But Chantal, you have some experience with dating sites, don't you?
I do.
You do.
I joined one a while ago, but now I moderate it, and when you moderate a dating site, you learn a lot that you really don't want to know about people, I guess. Yeah.
Like example
There are just
yeah.
there are dirty people in this town.
What?
In any town or just this town?
Well, no, because I only moderate Chicos.
Okay.
You moderate goes which website?
I can't tell you.
Yeah, she can't disclose it.
I can't disclose which website, but
Are
I'm on it, so...
Are you paid?
No.
Oh, wow.
It's a volunteer position. I'm totally fine with it being volunteer. If I got paid for it, I would feel dirty. It's dirty money.
It's dirty.
So
I
would rather not.
Does anybody besides me and Chantal have any experience with dating sites at all? Anybody? Allison?
My brother found his current girlfriend on OkCupid, or it might have been Match.com. I think it was Match.com. And yeah, they're great together. Like, they love each other's company and they seem to be getting along. So I think it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm currently on OkCupid, and I've been using it for about 6-ish months, and I've had like nothing but good experiences. A lot of people, differ on that. Like all the people I've met are like really awesome people. Circumstance just it didn't work out or for whatever reason, but as a whole, like the people I've met are very cool. And the thing about like Tinder, because like the article is basically about how she met up with this guy on through Tinder, and they hung out, but then he kind of became overbearing. It's like he would get a lot of, like, he text her a lot, and it would just become like a really weird situation where it's like, it's too much all at once, and she would like delete her app and then start over. And it was kind of just like how she actually came back after deleting it. She kind of thought about it more, and she's like, no, actually, I kind of want to do this again. And she'd re-download it and start over again. And because she likes the attention, or was that it?
Yeah, she liked the feeling of being able to flirt without any risk.
Yeah, and like the fact that you were also rated on a like not like system just makes you feel like, oh, I got like a few likes, like that makes you feel pretty good, I guess.
OkCupid has the same feature, I think, where you rate them. Like, there's 5 stars that you can rate someone, and if you pay the premium price, you can see who rated you highly and who hasn't.
Dude.
But no one wants to pay for that.
OkCupid has, like, it appeals to the most... It appeals to people who are just like so like they're just like, oh my god, did they like you can send you send a message to like a girl that you like, you read their profile, you send them a message, and you're just like oh my god, did they read it? And then like you can like, you know, pay a premium to see if they've actually read your message, and then like you just wait there to see if you're like, are they gonna message back? Like it's like that whole mindset is just like so out of control crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the differences between like OkCupid and Tinder's, like, I feel like Tinder's just like, you just see the pictures and there's not much profile. Like, you don't feel like this is a person, which I think is actually a huge problem.
You don't feel like you them, pretty much.
Wait, say that again, Allison? Sorry, it skipped.
Like, you don't feel like you actually know the person. Like, you're just basing it off of looks.
Yes, that is exactly the point. And
which isn't that great, you know?
No, I mean, looks is important to most people, I would believe. I mean, you want to be attracted to the person.
Yeah, but like personality is like what you fall in love with, pretty much.
Which is why this is such a problem for online dating. You become the pickiest person when you go to online dating sites, because you're just like, okay, because you read. I mean, Chantal probably knows because you probably read through a lot of profiles. Like, you look at their profile, like, okay, pictures, are they cute? Yes. You go to the next section. You're like, okay, do they have goals? Okay, are they determined, passionate people in any way? Like, sometimes they'll be like, they'll just like, or are there spelling mistakes? Like, what did they spell wrong? Is it a normal spelling mistake? And then you start like getting more and more picky about these things. You're just like, well.
Yeah, my deal breaker is spelling mistakes where they can't spell properly.
Oh man.
I'm like, no, skip.
And is that so bad? Because that person, you know, has had all these experience. Like, they're a person, you know, they have lived their entire life, and then like one spelling mistake, just like, you're out of here. Like, you fail the exam.
No, if it's like one spelling mistake, I can understand. But it's like spelling, like text spelling on I don't know, on a dating website with the message. It's like, no, come on. R is A-R-E, not R.
I have a huge issue with your and your. Like,
yeah, it drives me crazy.
It's like, come on, guys. Come on. Really? I don't know. Yeah, but it like, I don't know, because you can't personify this person. This becomes a checklist. It's not just like a resume. It's not like a person anymore, and you're just like, like, and a lot of times they don't know what to write, so they'll write, oh, I like to have fun. I'm like, what does that mean? What does it mean? Like, I'd like to have fun too. Doesn't everybody like to have fun? Like, that means nothing. It's just a non-opinion. Where it's like, I don't know.
They would not be
not specific.
Off the record.
Yeah, no, they would. No,
I kind of feel weird though when I see people that I know, because it's like, if I don't like them, it's like, but I know you in real life.
I've had that happen where I've run into like coworkers in the Bay Area, and I'll be like, oh, I know her, or like I've seen students around. I'm just like, oh, that's that person. Like, that's, I don't know, because you get to see that person. You're like, I know that person, and now I'm like reading something that I'm technically not supposed to see-ish. Like, I don't know. I guess it's like deer in the headlights. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know.
to me, it is kind of deer in the headlights because I remember when I first joined OkCupid, every second person I kind of recognized as being on the site, and you don't know what to say. You're like, oh, hey, because they're like, hey, I know you from somewhere. It's like, really? I don't know. I don't know you.
Yeah, how do you respond to that? You're like, okay, well, I've never seen you. Later. And that's over, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that a lot. So
Yeah, that's such a weird way to start a conversation. I know you.
You're like,
Really?
cool.
Did you have to say that? Like,
what happened to hello? Or like,
yeah.
or just like, some witty beginning remark. I don't know.
I've watched from afar.
Well, people like stare at you. They like do the double look. Like they're like, I do know you, and it's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And it's funny because before the show, Ben was bringing up the fact that, whoa, sorry, my mic was really far away. That you said majority of the users on Tinder are actually female or male?
I was saying that men and women swipe right, so they approve of people and deny people the same percentage that men do. And so the article was saying that it's really fixed dating for women because there's no in-depth, like, super soul intimate, like, put your life and heart on the line profiles. It's just, a simple yes or no, and it's really, it's non-committal, and you don't have to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's okay, because maybe that's all people are just looking for, just like pretty people on the surface, and then just try it out. If it doesn't work out, well, no big deal. You move on to the next person. It's just kind of like how it's like a weird speed dating thing. It's actually it's a lighter version of OkCupid because you don't get a feel for that person at all. You don't even have to like read a small profile. It's just like picture done, and I don't know. Yeah, in fact, I was actually just browsing it earlier, and I was just like, not sure if I like this. I can appreciate from a design aspect. I'm like, it's super nice looking app, and then like everything's so smooth and fancy, but I don't know. Do you have any good stories, Chantal, from just OkCupid story? I mean, everybody on OkCupid has had like that weird story or that crazy exchange between people.
I have a lot.
Preferably nothing too super graphic, I guess.
No, I won't tell you about the graphic ones, but I don't know. I keep getting the weird ones though. Like the ones that if I don't message them back immediately, they keep messaging me like 5,000 times. I'm like, I'm a busy woman. I don't have time to sit there and respond to every message that people send me. And some people get overbearing. They're like, so I didn't hear from you. Are you okay? What are you doing? And it's just like, I don't want to respond now.
Do they start getting progressively angry? Like, hey, how's it going? Okay, fine. I don't even care about you anyways. But then they come back later like, oh, hey, hope you're doing well. It's like, what? Like, it's like a total one-sided conversation with themselves, and you're just watching it happen, and you're like, this is like the sign of like a psychopath. Like, oh
yeah,
my God.
no, I've watched that happen where I just don't respond and watch them talk to themselves pretty much. I know it sounds awful, but
I have a question.
Yeah.
What exactly does a moderator do on a dating site? Like, what function?
So, all the, the reports button where people are being creepy or just straight rude or they send dick pics, which is a lot.
Oh.
They come to me and I decide whether to boot that person or to send them a warning and be like, hey, you need to like chill. Pretty much.
What gets a warning and what gets you banned? Like, does a dick pic get you banned?
It depends.
Does it depend on the dick?
In the context.
Yeah, is there like a quota? Like, you've exceeded your dick pic quota. I'm gonna have to like time you out for a few days.
I think if it depends on the context that the conversation was going. There's like guidelines that I have to follow. But if, for example, a guy sends a girl a dick pic and it's in a very, very explicit way where she feels really, really offended, then I ban him from her site.
Oh, from her site.
Yes, and then if he keeps offending a bunch of women, he gets banned from the whole site.
Huh. So it's not just like an
Wow.
instant, just like banned from everything. It's like, well, you can't talk.
They have to do something extreme.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you ban someone from the site, are they like permanently banned? Like they can never make an account again, or is it
It's just with their email,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, we have repeat offenders a lot who have
God.
figured out this
Make
loophole.
their way back.
Yeah.
Clawed their way out.
Well, no, because they create multiple accounts with different emails. So then you have to ban all their accounts, and with the internet, like, you can't always get them.
Are these men hoping that, like, yeah, sure, like 100 women may not like my sudden dick pic, but like, if I find one that does, that's all I need to do. Like, is that their goal? Do you think?
I have no idea. I never ask.
I have.
Go for it.
Okay, I've read some guy did an experiment. Whether you can call it an experiment is completely up to you. But he did this. He's like, okay, I'm gonna send a dick pic to like 100 accounts, and then he figured out how many responded back, how many didn't, how many got I don't know how many reported, but basically he just like figured out the ratio of how many people generally will respond to something like that positively, and it was like maybe like 2% or something like that. So
Wow.
it was like there was some people that still were like yeah, this is yeah. So it's not like totally like out of this world that like everybody's totally grossed out about it, because apparently there's some people out there that are like,
All right.
all right, yeah, well, how's
Yeah.
it? How you doing? Let's go get coffee now that I've seen your dick.
I mean,
You've passed the test.
Dick pics are actually rare. It's more offensive where the guy or the girl gets super aggressive toward who they're talking to, and then they just say really, really offensive stuff.
So when you say aggressive, like I'm gonna like come and murder your family kind of thing, or like
It's
Like-
more sexual. Is more like offensive, especially to women. I've noticed, like, really do men report, but women do report a lot, and it's more, hey, what do you think of me licking your anus or something? That freaks them out, because it's like, one, that's, whoa, yeah. That is too personal to, like, respond to.
Yeah.
well, that's
So-
some advice
Those
for
people get banned.
um
Now that we know what a moderator does.
yeah. Now we know what a mod. Actually, I thought
It-
as soon as I heard that Chantal was a moderator for a dating site, I was like, that's interesting. So she's a girl of many different backgrounds.
I wish we could write a profile on you, Chantal, because that to me is such an interesting job.
It is interesting.
There will probably be a sex column on it before the end of the
Oh yeah, I
semester.
didn't think of that. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
And if anybody's
I'll write about it, being a moderator of a dating site, but I
Oh,
won't
you know
reveal
what?
which one.
Whoa,
I
I'm
want to
excited.
know. Can you give advice to people who are trying to woo women on OkCupid?
I can if they personally message me, because I'm on OkCupid anyway, and people have actually contacted me on OkCupid and be like, hey, so I totally know you're the sex columnist. I need help. And I remember this one guy actually messaged Aubrey when she was the sex columnist talking to me on OkCupid, and he's like, I totally want to hook up with this girl. And I was sitting right next to her. He was totally talking about me.
Oh wow.
Damn.
So, yeah, it's very interesting.
So is there any general advice that you'd give to somebody who's doing online dating stuff, I guess?
Just be your genuine self and don't be overly sexual. Because, I mean, you don't want to scare the person off right off the bat.
But you want to
But-
scare them later, you want to...
Like,
Later.
the goal of online dating is to meet people online and then eventually meet in person. So you don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to be the creepy stalker person.
So you want to show the best of yourself.
Yeah, and then eventually just exchange numbers, and again, don't be overbearing with texting and being like, hey, check out a picture of my daughter. Here's my daughter. Like every 5 minutes. This happened to me. This is how I know. So, yeah.
That's actually, that's one of my things is like, after you go through the whole list, like, okay, they're educated, are they single parent? And it's not like that I'm filtering out all the single moms. It's just like, I'm at a completely different like life stage than they are, and I can't like provide the level of care that they're looking for. And like, I don't know. Yeah. But there's a ton of single moms on the OkCupid. It's like a lot. It's a lot. Like I probably 30%.
I like it when I travel, because as you travel, the location on OkCupid actually changes. So you get all these other people from different areas checking out your profile. Like, I went to Canada this summer, and I had Canadian men looking at my profile.
Wow.
Ooh, Canadian men.
Yes, Canadian men.
The best.
No, I'm not going to say that. I have a filter that I am proud of. Moving on.
Ben he's so good at filtering and censoring himself that he's like, no, never mind. Close
the
one.
editor-in-chief does that.
So.
He has an image to preserve, so understandable. Allison, you've never used online dating?
I haven't.
On dating sites, you haven't. Why haven't you?
I don't know. I just haven't.
Just haven't. Is the idea unnerving? Is it because like you'd rather just meet them in person?
Well, I've thought about it, but I don't know. I've just never tried it.
I don't
know why.
I think there's still a certain amount of stigma attached to online dating, you know?
Like, I used to think that, like, it was kind of weird to meet people online, you know?
Okay. No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
It's funny because that, like, I mean, I guess, like, we all grew up in the generation of just, like, everything's online all the time, and, like, it's totally normal to just talk and meet with people online, or at least for me, because I used to play World of Warcraft. If you guys don't know what World of Warcraft is, it was one of the biggest online fantasy role-playing, massively multiplayer online RPG. Wow, I just listed, like, all, like, the genres all at once. Okay, anyhow, it's a fantasy RPG, and in this game, you have, like, guilds. There's just these large groups of people that you all play together with, and when you form these guilds, there's usually a guild leader. And in this guild leader, my guild leader was like a 45-year-old like insurance broker for like an electric company in the South or something, like some like really crazy title. But basically, she would, like, after she got off work, she became like the person who would direct everybody how to like the guild, like how to, you know, take down bosses and like slay dragons and things like that. And her job required her to travel a lot, and she came to San Francisco, and I got to meet her face to face, me and my friend, my current roommate. And like, she was a really cool person. Like, I don't know, like that was totally the most normal thing. Like, I tell people and they're like totally blown away. They're like, oh my God, you met someone from online in a video game. But it's just like, it's just funny to see this person like you've always played with, and you see their digital avatar, and then you actually get to meet this person. Like, whoa, I don't know, it kind of just like, it changes your perspective, which is, I guess, like the whole thing about online dating and like real versus like their profile. Yeah. And same thing, I guess, goes with like job interviews, because I feel like that's kind of what dating is. It's a job interview. It's not supposed to feel like that, but it is. Yeah, exactly. Like,
it definitely is, because you're like trying to like create a good first impression and all that stuff, you know, just like you would going into a job interview.
I bring a resume to my dates.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm very qualified.
These are my qualifications.
Here are my references.
It works for me, so I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true. God, where was I going with this? I guess it's just, online dating is like having like your resume online, and then having like meeting someone in real life is like having a face-to-face interview right away. So it's like they already know that they want to give you the job because they met you in real life, rather than like reading the resume like, okay, they have to be pretty high qualifications for me to even meet you. So that's kind of how I see it. And which I guess is fine in the end because people are careful about a lot of things. And yeah, there's always a stigma about like, oh, you met someone online, like, oh, like you don't have to do that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't have to like online date. You're pretty enough or whatever. I'm like, what? Like I think it's like the most normal thing to meet people online because I do it all the time. So I don't think it's that weird at all. And I think that whole stigma is slowly breaking down, which I think is in the end a good thing.
Actually, I read something recently that said like a lot of people have turned to online dating.
Easier, especially with soldiers. Like a lot of soldiers that are fighting like in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever they're fighting right now. They use online dating to meet people this side in the state rather than waiting and then coming back to meet people.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of military people are on online dating sites too.
That's really interesting, actually. I had no idea. I mean, I guess it makes sense because they're busy and in another country, so it's like, well, when I get back... I mean, that also takes a lot of dedication. Like, that would be a hard sell. Like, yeah, you won't see me for about 2 years, but if you like what you see, you know, maybe stick around. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I guess if, like, I don't know, if you really dig army guys, then it's, like, the best thing ever. So it's, like, perfect. That's exactly what I want.
I think it's just talking to the person. And, I mean, if there's a connection, whether it's online or in person, it's still a connection. So inevitably, you'd wait anyway to see where it could go and stuff. I don't know. That's just my experience.
Well,
with moderating and such.
Yeah. Well, before we go too long, I just want to ask one last thing, Chantal. How many people have you met from dating sites and met them in real life, like followed up?
I would say one.
One?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, yeah, I only met one. I have really high standards. So.
And how did it go? In fact, I remember hearing this story, but how did it go?
Not that good.
Oh.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, he was nice. He didn't treat me badly or anything, and we went out to lunch, but the conversation kind of took a turn, especially when he got on the topic of period sex, and that's where I got the phrase painting the walls red.
Oh.
Yes. And then he kept talking about, like, 99 Red Balloons, the song. And I was like, I really don't want to know. I'm going to go now. And then he wanted to walk me home, but I said no, I wasn't going home yet. So he went off on his own, and I went to my house. Yes. So I dodged a bullet there.
Well, that's not... I was gonna hope to like try and sell people on online dating. I guess that's not the best story.
No. I mean, there are a lot of genuine people that I know on the dating sites already. Like, I met them way before I joined OkCupid. So there are genuine people, I swear, that like I know or knew already. Yeah.
So get out there and see people, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and being single's fine. Being single's great. Since I became single, I feel like my confidence has grown as a person, so I feel pretty good. Yeah.
Beyonce enjoyed it, so
she did. Or wait, that's a reference to something, and I'm totally. Oh yeah, okay, that's that song that she sings about the ring.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I think it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Single ladies.
Yeah.
Are you single? Yeah, that one.
No, I mean, and so before it goes to a subject that I'm totally unfamiliar with now. So closing this out, I still haven't written an ending for the show, but that's okay because if you want to find out more about our stories or any other stuff that we do, all the other content that we do, all of it you can find at theorion.com. And I release a video once per day, 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday. So you can find all that content there. If you want more of me, I don't really have any other personalized content other than my Twitter handle. and what you see on the screen right now. Does anybody else have anything else to want to plug before I close this out? Nope. Nobody has no blog, no nothing? Nope.
No.
We're good? All right. We are good, guys. Thank you all for joining us on the 7th episode of Off the Record. Wow, I had to think about that. I'm Jeff Barron, the video editor at the Orion, and thanks for everything. Yeah.